we are NBA fans and we love all things NBA, even the minor things that maybe don't make it big. But if you're on Twitter, if you go to NBA.com and you happen to be on ESPN.com, you will see all the other things that the NBA has to offer. And so in this particular episode, we're going to give you our thoughts on this. Let's get into it.
All right. I have some thoughts on Danny Green's ACL tear at this stage of his career. I think we've seen the last of Danny Green in an NBA uniform.
No, not the NBA uniform. Now, we may see the last of Danny Green with the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, I can get on board with that, but I think he can be in the league one more time. I mean, if Boogie, Carmelo Anthony can keep a run, I don't see why Danny Green can't. Now, he may end up in Toronto again, or he may end up with the Orlando Magic, or he may end up with the Houston Rockets, or he may end up, with the Charlotte Hornets, but he's going to be in the league again. And I think he can give us at least 2 more years post his 1-year hiatus due to recovery. Yeah.
I think as a 3-and-D guy,
okay, first of all,
specialty is the 3-point shot.
Less 3.
In that defense. I'm just saying. I think we've seen the end. Now, on his show, on his podcast, he talked about how he did not want this to be the end of his career. But sometimes, things happen. I mean, and it just ends your career abruptly. And I think we've seen the end. I think we've seen the end of Danny Green. At least he was able to get a couple of rings. And that's just what it is.
Yeah, he did. And now he has his post-player podcast that he can kind of just not devote all his time to. I think we'll see Danny Green again. I do not think we'll see him in a 76ers uniform. No, not at all. But we will see him again. And he won't be a starter. He will be coming off the bench wherever he goes. His starting days may be over. I can agree to that. But I think we'll see him again, yes.
So the NBA announced the 2022 All-NBA defense team. Now, I have a little problem with one person on the first team. I mean, we got Giannis, Mikal Bridges, Rudy Gobert, Jaren Jackson, and Marcus Smart. I have a problem with Gobert being on the first team All-NBA because when I look at the second team and you got Robert Williams III on the second team, and we all know how much of a defensive presence he is compared to Rudy Gobert, I just have a problem with it. I think RW3 could have been on first team all defense.
I think the league nailed it with the first team all defense, and including Rudy Gobert. I think they nailed it. If you think about Rudy Gobert's complete work in the 2022 regular season, whether or not he was explosive as he wanted to be, he was effective, right? And so he may need work outside the paint, but from a defensive perspective and what he's designed to do, his height gives him that advantage anyway.
Mm-hmm.
If you're that tall, I expect you to block a shot. If you don't, then why are you even in the league? So I will give him that. But I think they nailed it. And I'm okay with Rudy Gobert being on the first team. Yeah. No problem with me. But I agree, Robert Williams is a beast and he will continue to be there. Let me tell you right now, because with the Boston Celtics not even having him when he's unable to play for whatever reason, it does impact their whole game. So yeah, Robert Williams is fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have liked to see him on the first team, though. But real quick, second team included Bam Adebayo, Draymond Green, Drew Holiday, Matisse Thybulle.
I'm okay with that.
Well-deserved, right?
And Matisse Thybulle solidified his state on the second team because of the way he hemmed up Steph Curry. Yes. Let me tell you something. When Steph Curry was trying to achieve his surpass, who was it? He was trying to surpass somebody in a 3-pointer.
Yeah, Ray Allen.
Yes. In that game, the way Matisse Thybulle literally was part of Steph Curry's jersey, like he couldn't even move. If that Matisse Thybulle would have showed up in the okay, I digress. That's why he is on this particular second team all defense because of that, in my opinion, because of that play alone.
Okay. All right. Now, we know the Kawhi Leonard did not step foot on the court for the Los Angeles Clippers. Excuse me. What? I know you're a Kawhi Leonard fan. Did he play any games this season?
He did not, and I'm okay with that.
Okay.
He was recovering. No, but I already know where you're going because it's getting ready. You get ready to give some Kawhi Leonard slander, and I'm getting ready for it because you can't. You're going to go something to get me on Kawhi.
Wait. No, it's not going to be that bad. But okay. I was scrolling through Twitter, and somebody said that Kawhi Leonard is the best scorer in the NBA when healthy. I said, you know what? That's a key word right there. The key phrase right there is when healthy. When is Kawhi Leonard going to be healthy to complete a full season? Why didn't we see him, at least a glimpse of him in the regular season or a little bit in the playoffs? Really?
Yeah.
Play-in, by the way, in the play-in, right? Why didn't we
Yeah.
see Kawhi Leonard? How much longer are you going to support Kawhi Leonard when you haven't even seen him play?
Right. When he's recovered from injury.
Oh my
So you mean to tell me Kawhi Leonard's the only player that's been out due to injury? Let me just,
God.
because if he has been, then I'm not watching the right NBA. I must be watching some other NBA league. Got to be, because Kawhi Leonard's not the only one that's injured. And if Kawhi Leonard is not feeling well, why should he play? You know what though? Until he is fully recovered. Now, let me tell you, in that statement you mentioned, the best in the league, that person was stretching. That's a little.
Okay.
That's a stretch while somebody's not playing, because we all know, and I know you've heard this. If you've followed the NBA or any sports team, your best ability is your availability. He has not been available this year, so I don't know if that statement is fair to say while he's been out injured, while he didn't play one game this season. So I can't get on board with that. However, Kawhi Leonard can be out on injury just like any other player. Just like any other player. And at least he is consistent on who he is. Everybody knows who he is. He hasn't switched up on anybody, right? And so if homeboy wasn't standing on the sideline, on the line when Kawhi Leonard came down back in the day, we probably wouldn't even be talking about Kawhi Leonard right now, because he would be fully healthy. His injury, reason why load management is injury management, however you guys want to call it, when it's depending on who you're talking about in the league. Is it injury management? Is it load management? I guess it depends on what player we're talking about. But in Kawhi's situation, it's going to always be load management, which is going to always be seen. It's going to always be deemed negative, which I disagree with. He can be out injured just like every other player can be out injured. The reason why people have a problem with Kawhi Leonard is because we don't know about his personal life. And guess what? I don't care. So when Kawhi Leonard is playing, then we can make statements like that. But you can't make statements like that when he's not playing. So in that regard, I disagree with the statement. But you're not going to talk about Kawhi Leonard.
Oh my goodness!
Because I don't like the unequal treatment that he gets, where other players can do the same thing and it's okay. No, it's not okay.
Year after year, season after season.
No, year after year, really. So you mean to tell me if that is a true statement, then that means he would not have led the Toronto Raptors to a winning championship in 2019. If that's a true statement, that means that the 2020 bubble, the Clippers would not have been there. If that is a true statement, then the Clippers should be able to at least not be a playing team, because Kawhi Leonard wasn't there. So Kawhi Leonard is an X factor. He is a definitive player on any team that he is on. Hence is why he has 2 championships. And if I'm not mistaken, 2 finals MVPs.
I just feel bad for Steve Ballmer. You know?
I don't.
I don't. This man, like, I don't know what's Kawhi's salary.
He was injured. No conversation is over because he was injured. You talk to me next season when he comes back and he's playing and he claims to be fully healthy. Then we can have a discussion. But right now he's injured, and that's fine.
All right. Okay, cool. Now, DeAndre Ayton. Here's a guy who allegedly quit on his team. And Monty Williams had to sit him down. Was not afraid to sit DeAndre Ayton down. In fact, when the reporters asked Monty Williams about that, because I think DeAndre Ayton had only played 17 minutes in that particular elimination game, Monty Williams, being the classy gentleman that he is, he said, it's internal. What do you make of DeAndre Ayton potentially quitting on Phoenix Suns in his contract year?
You should have gave me my money early.
Okay.
Where was my money at the beginning of the season? That is what he's telling them. But unfortunately for him as a player, it could be detrimental in him getting his future contracts.
Yeah.
You cannot quit on a team. You just can't do it, especially a team that was slated by all counts should have been in the Western Conference Finals and on their way to a finals run. So you can't quit. However, good for Monty Williams in having the strength and the tenacity to say, you ain't about to get on this floor with that. No, we'll take a loss before we have you just play anyway. And I'm okay with that.
And that's exactly what happened. But, you know, I wonder about DeAndre Ayton. Now, I thought with him not receiving his contract at the beginning of the season, last off season, I said, okay, I wonder what his psyche is going to be like going into this season, having been eliminated from the NBA Finals, looking for his big bag. Everybody else around him got paid, right? Mikal Bridges got his money. Devin Booker got his. You paying Chris Paul $30 million for 3 years, $90 million deal. So I said, okay, DeAndre Ayton appears to be handling this in an adult fashion.
Yeah.
But for him to not show up in the playoffs and to allegedly quit on his team, I think it really, really is going to hit him financially. It might even be similar to what happened to what's your boy from Houston, the one who was with the Lakers with the, oh my God, what is his name? The one that was with the Lakers and he turned down the deal and he ended up with
Schroeder.
yeah, Dennis Schroeder. I hope DeAndre Ayton doesn't slip down to that level.
Where is Dennis?
Just saying.
You know what though? Dennis Schroeder. Oh, tragic. Okay, so why? This tells me that the Phoenix Suns saw something in DeAndre Ayton that they weren't sold on.
Yep.
And for fans like us, we saw it. We saw it now with the way he quit, in essence, and, or didn't play or whatever, didn't show up or became invisible. You give me the term, he wasn't there, right? I think that the Phoenix Suns saw something in that and they weren't willing to invest. But at the top of the season, we was like, how dare you not? What? But there was something already internally going on that we didn't know about.
Yeah.
So good for the Phoenix Suns keeping it under wraps because they really, because if you watch any of our there's a previous video that we did where we were like, pay DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
And the Phoenix Suns was like, nope, not until we see, and they didn't see it. And so they're like, nope, we're not paying you. That's exactly what it was. And I don't see him being a Phoenix Sun next season. It doesn't make sense.
Man, with Chris Paul aging and you lose DeAndre Ayton too, they're going to be starting from essentially scratch again.
And it's okay. It's time for a rebuild.
Man,
when should they rebuild? When should they rebuild? When? You think they're gonna run this back again? They can't run it. They've already run it back. They already ran it back, and look where it got them.
Yeah,
a second round exit. So it's time for them to start anew. And there's going to be some players that will not be there next season that were a part of these 2 years that were really had a positive impact in the postseason in 2021 and a great 2022 regular season run that we just won't see again on the Phoenix Suns roster. You know what? What do you think about the Dallas Mavericks getting these fines for violating league league rules regarding bench decorum? What do you think about that?
It seems a little excessive to me. However, the Mavs standing along the sidelines like that is excessive as well. As a fan of the game, if I'm paying good money to sit down front and these big 6'9", 6'10" dudes blocking my view, I have a problem with that. It's a bad product that the league is putting out when you can't even see the game and you're sitting down low because these guys are blocking the court. In addition to the safety concerns for the players on the court, all you need is one player to come down on someone's foot, done for the season, ruin their chances of winning the playoffs.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, Kawhi, that's true. Kawhi
no, but that's exactly why it's imperative that they sit down. But it's funny. Can the Warriors organization deem it as disrespect? Because they were in San Francisco, so you just gonna stand up the whole time. You're gonna stand up the whole time. You're gonna stand up for 48 minutes. Is that what y'all gonna do? No, you can't. And we're not talking about cheap seats. Them seats on the floor.
Yeah.
At the Chase Center. First of all, anything in California is expensive. So you're gonna be in San Francisco at the Chase Center, sitting that low, and you can't see. Yeah. What y'all stand up on the corner? And then why did you have on a white jersey, sir? Sir, what you have the white jersey on for? But now with the fines, will they find themselves sitting down in Dallas? I'm quite sure they will, because they don't want to mess up their fan base's view on the floor. Well, I'm okay with the fines. It was not the first one though. That's the thing about it. You were already warned with the first fine. Now you got your second fine, Dallas Mavericks. Now what are you gonna do? Now I know that Mark Cuban can probably go to his sock drawer and pull out that money. That ain't nothing. He can probably, while they was giving the fine, he was probably digging in his socks and his current trousers saying, here's the money. The man got it. But it's not about the money, it's about the product. And if you are not going to respect the players that are on the court, you mean to tell me you can't even stand off to the back? Y'all are hovering. And forget about the people taking photos. They can't take no photos. All they see is your calves. So I'm just like, no, you can't do that. You can't be that close to the line on the court. And you just can't stand up the whole game. I agree. 100%. Yeah. Find them until they fix it.
Well, I think it's also about leadership. Who's in charge of the team? You got Jason Kidd. You
He
got
don't have
Mark
time to
Cuban.
look. He don't have time to be looking at that though. So that means that the other assistant coaches, player coaches, whatever that is, that's sitting down there. You got like 10 other coaches just sitting. Y'all can't tell them people to sit back. But I know they're engaged. They want to support their team on the floor. But I'm gonna need y'all to do that in your seats. You can't stand up 48 minutes. You just can't.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree. I agree. All I see is Tim Hardaway Jr. just doing all his antics on the sideline.
You
They
healthy,
could use
Tim?
him on the court.
Oh,
Yeah.
talking about somebody that need to be on the court for the Dallas Mavericks
hmm
during this season, during this series. Yes, yes. So go and sit down, heal yourself.
All right, cool. So Kyrie Irving made news recently. He said LeBron James put together the Cleveland Cavaliers, who ended up being title contenders back in the day. But Jeanie Buss claims that LeBron and Clutch Sports did not put together the Lakers roster. That's fluff. I'm not buying it. I know LeBron James and his team put together this Laker roster. Why Jeanie Buss is pretending like he didn't have his say is beyond me, and she needs to cut it out.
You know what? When somebody says something that can be deemed as, you don't have to be involved in every conversation. This is one of those statements where I just wish you would have been like, "Who said what? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about." And let it go. You don't have to make a comment on everything. So if someone came to Jeanie Buss and said, "Jeanie Buss, what you think about this clutch?" I'm too focused on next season, and could have been done with it, even if she has an opinion. But everything don't need a comment. Everything don't need a comment, and this is one of them because that comment is. You have LeBron James on your roster, and you mean to tell me you did not run any player by him? Beat
Exactly.
it with that. Not any player. Now he may have said no, and you went forward anyway, but I guarantee you talked to him about it.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James, okay, he just gonna show up. Ooh, who's on my team today? No,
Right.
that didn't happen. That didn't happen.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
believe that one bit. One
Now,
bit.
along those lines, Lakers need a head coach for next season. There's talk that Darvin Ham and Terry Stotts, and Kenny Atkinson are the three finalists, excluding my boy Mark Jackson. I have a problem with that. They're saying that Darvin Ham, who was an assistant with the Los Angeles Lakers, is LeBron James's pick. What are the chances that Jeanie Buss goes against LeBron James's pick and goes with Stotts or Atkinson?
0.
Mm-hmm.
0. And if they did that, then I don't know if it's wrong for me to say I anticipate LeBron James being on another team at the end of the season. I mean,
Oh,
on another
okay.
team at the beginning of next season. Why wouldn't you want who he want? He's LeBron James.
This is a
Yeah,
guy who's
but
at the end of his career,
if they
though.
had the guts to do it, and it was like, you know what, we think we need somebody else better for we don't want. It's not him, it's him. I will be okay with it as long as it's not Terry Stotts.
Terry Stotts. Terry hasn't won anything. Why on earth would you bring Terry Stotts to the Los Angeles Lakers? Huge market with Terry Stotts. At
Terry.
least get Kenny Atkinson if you're not going to go with Darvin Ham. At least Kenny took on the Brooklyn Nets at a very volatile period of
He sure
time
did.
and dealt with big
He
personalities.
did. He did.
Terry Stotts? Come on.
I would only be okay with LeBron James's pick, and I can't determine that until the season begins. Right? Because it's gonna be all about, can you lead? Oh, somebody made a statement. Okay, I was watching some show, ESPN, NBA, I don't know which one it was. But somebody mentioned, it was Pat Bev. Woo, if y'all not watching Pat Bev on ESPN, you are missing good TV. But anyway, I digress. I believe Pat Bev, and drop down in the comments if I'm wrong. I believe Pat Bev, I heard Pat Bev say, which I'm quite sure he got the quote from somebody else, but I heard him say it, that you need to coach the game, coach the team, not the player, or coach the game, not the player. Now, if whoever the Lakers get can coach the game and not the player, then I will be okay with it. But if you coach the player, that means you will not make adjustments accordingly to how the game is moving. So we don't know what that really looks like until the season begins, especially on a LeBron James led Lakers team. So I don't know. I don't know. But why do you think Mark Jackson's not a part of that?
I think he's been blackballed ever since he left Golden State. There's no reason why he has not gotten another opportunity since then, especially what he was able to do with the Splash Brothers and Draymond Green. The confidence and just what he put together in Golden State, there's no reason why another team would not want him to duplicate that.
He's been out for a while.
Yeah. And I just think his personality might be a little too A plus. They probably asked him, hey, what are your plans for LeBron James? What are your plans for Russell Westbrook? What do you think we should do with Anthony Davis? And what he said behind closed doors probably didn't vibe with
It's like,
Jeanie Buss and
oh,
Palinka and those guys.
I agree. I can see that. I can see that. And you know what? He's great on this. He's great as a commentator. So at least he
Yeah.
got somewhere to go. Yeah, I can totally see that.
Hmm.
Hilarious. I just can't wait to see what the Lakers are going to do next season. And their coach is going to be huge to any success that they have moving forward. It's, I don't know. Bring Luke
Yeah.
Walton back at this point.
Oh my God. Okay.
You know what? Another one, I saw a Twitter comment by Agent Wojnarowski, which mentioned that Michigan coach Juwan Howard recently declined the Los Angeles Lakers' overture on the franchise head coaching job. Why do you think he declined coaching the Lakers?
Oop. I don't think he wants any part of showbiz. I mean, the pressure in Los Angeles, the
Yeah.
personalities. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's and then Adrian also mentioned in the same tweet, Howard is coaching his two sons, Jason Jared, in Ann Arbor.
Ah.
So that's so sweet. That's so sweet. However, you think if it was any other coaching job, he may have turned that down? Not an opportunity to coach in the NBA. It was more about the Lakers than it was about coaching in the
Yeah.
NBA.
Yeah. But
He
he
said,
knows LeBron from the Miami Heat days. I'm
from the
just
Miami Heat days, but he also has been watching the LeBron from the Los Angeles Lakers days, and
oh
he's like
yeah.
all that Los Angeles Lakers stuff. Maybe not LeBron James particularly, but the Los Angeles Lakers, all of that. Miss me. I'll stay in Michigan with the snow. I don't need the sunshine for that mess. No, that's exactly what he said. If I had to read into
Hmm.
it. But good way to put your sons out there. But I think it's great that he's coaching his son. So how can you say something negative about that?
Yeah, exactly. Can we just accept that Andre Iguodala is just going to be a coach for the Golden State Warriors? I mean, is he going to suit up at all?
You know what? He doesn't have to. You don't even want that product out there. What are you gonna do? Be in
Hmm.
the way? It's not like they would they like for him to be out there? Yes. And he may be needed later on in the series. But right now, as they're playing, they don't need him.
Yeah.
They don't need 5 minutes from him. Don't even suit up. Iguodala, get well. Like, no, for what?
He's going to be the Udonis Haslam of the. That's going to be his role.
And you know
Like
what?
Joe
Iguodala,
0.1 million. You know.
little chump change making. Just, while I still love the game, I can sit on and travel. I can travel. I can suit
Hmm.
up, still wear my suit.
Yeah.
On the sideline. Yeah. But Iguodala will be if the Warriors go far and they happen to win the chip, Iguodala will be getting one as well.